आवाज इसमें कहाँ की आ रही है वेटिंग में? कहाँ नहीं आ रहा? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shiva Sadi Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol.
Gaur Premanande!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's our greatest fortune. It's said in the Shastras that how when Lord Sri Krishna is most pleased with you, then he gives you the association of his devotees. Hari Bol. And bhakti is not like, a short race, it's a long marathon. And so many people come to Krishna consciousness, lakhs of people come, but very few. Prabhupada, somebody asked once Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, that devotee left Krishna consciousness, that devotee left Krishna consciousness, that devotee left Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, don't see how many leave Krishna consciousness. See how many stay.
Haribo!
So many lakhs of people come, but so many leave. Very few people. So we see Prabhu has been practicing Krishna consciousness last almost 51 years. Haribo! Oh, how many were born that time? I was also not born. So we are so fortunate that we are having association of His Grace. Jivananda Prabhu! So Prabhu was born near Chicago, and then he met Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON Society in approximately 1971. 73. And from that time he has been very, very sincerely serving in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. That day we accidentally met Prabhuji in Calcutta temple. I was just coming from Meghalaya on my preaching trip. I happened to be in Newtown temple. I got Prabhu's association and somehow I requested Prabhu if he can bless us. So Prabhu kindly agreed and was telling such beautiful pastimes of his assisting His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and he's a committed man. Talking to Prabhu, we are seeing that he wants to really give himself completely to Krishna, and at such age of 75. Your age 75, Prabhu?
Yes.
75, where people are like, can't do anything. I meet so many people after 60, 70, they're like practically vegetables. At the age of 75, he is very blissfully giving Krishna to others because of his sincerity. He took Vanprastha ashram and now he is Guru and is sharing such beautiful state of his consciousness. He is elevating so many others. So he is developing project
Tucson, Arizona.
So Prabhu is very, very encouraging. He wants our society to grow, devotees to grow, and we are so fortunate to be blessed by his association. All of you want to get Prabhu's association? So let us take his association. Please kindly bless us, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
And please ask questions and discussion if you have something to say at any time. Okay? And
just raise your hand if you want to have any question. Or after half an hour, we will, after some time when Prabhu speak, then we can have question and answer.
Yeah.
And if you want, in between also you can raise your hand.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm the fortunate one because Lord Chaitanya is showing his mercy on me because I get to associate with you. So I can see how happy everyone is. I'm the fortunate one, really. So, all of these wonderful smiling faces. So, has anybody here ever been to a movie? Okay. Maybe more than one movie, several movies? Lots of, yeah. Lots of, many, yeah. This is India, the home of Bollywood. So when you see a movie, you can have some story. Say the movie starts out and it's very exciting. And then through the middle, it's very interesting. But then towards the end, it's not so good. And then the ending is bad. Would you recommend that movie to your friend? Would you go see it again? Someone says, hey, how was the movie that you saw? What would you say? Why, it started out good, and then it was really interesting, but in the end it was, you know? So this is the way that your life can turn out if you're not very careful. This is the way most lives turn out. You see? Do you agree? Think of the old people that you know. What can they do? Maybe go from one room to the other. Maybe do a little bit of walk. They're old. They're at the end. It's the end of their movie. And it's not a happy ending, is it? Unless you've had a life well lived. A life well lived is living a human life, making proper utilization of this human body that you have. This human body is a great opportunity to live a very good life that will have the happiest of endings. Old age shouldn't be something that you work hard for so that you can just do nothing, move from one room to another, get ready for death, wait for the next disease to set in. This is old age. In this material world, it starts out with birth and it ends with death. In between, there's disease and old age. So let's say that you start out with a nice happy birth and you're living in a nice rural area, a nice farm, and you eat all organic vegetables and fruits and grains. The air where you live is clean, and you go to the gym and you work out. You take yoga, and you're fit, right? So that means you get to live a little bit longer, right? And you know people like this, don't you? They work hard to get fit, keep the body fit, right? They're very particular on what they eat. So much right exercise. Yeah? So what do they have to look forward to? Old age. That's not a good bargain. I'm here to tell you, it's not fun to get old because parts of the body stop working. You see? If you're not careful, the mind will start to shrink and it doesn't work as well anymore. Now, why does the mind start to malfunction? Because it's not fulfilled. Not proper stimulus. We need to be stimulated, isn't it? Don't you want to be stimulated? What is more stimulating than a fabulous kirtan? Very stimulating, isn't it? Is it something that you do once in a while? No, it's a way of life, isn't it? So you live a stimulating life. Your life is stimulated. You see, you get this. So the brain is used to being fulfilled, to taste the association of other people who are feeling stimulated excited about what they're doing, where they are in life. And not only that, but where are they going? In business, they say that you should start with the end in mind. In other words, you make a plan. People make plans. They make plans on what are we going to do for vacation this year. They make plans on what are we going to do for retirement. You should make a plan. How do you want your life to look when you're 75 years old? Think about it. Take a minute and think. Picture you, 75 years old. What does the world around you look like? What's going on around you at 75? What kind of life do you want? Stimulating? Happy? If you want happiness, then you've got to control your attitude. You've got to control your attitude. Otherwise, you get happiness that comes and then it goes. Wait, here comes more happiness. Happiness is coming. Oh, did you see the happiness? It went, wait, here comes some more. You know, so your life gets like that. More and more. Happiness is coming, then happiness is going. But what about the now moment? I want happiness that I can keep. I want happiness to come and stay. For that, you need Krishna consciousness. You need it. Otherwise, happiness will always be passing through your life. You'll have it for a while. You'll say hi. Then you'll say goodbye. Maybe more happiness is coming. Maybe if I go back to school and get a better education and get a better job, maybe then happiness will come and stay. Maybe if that doesn't work, I'll get a better wife, a better car, a bigger house. The illusory energy has so many things to make you think, this will make you happy. Is it making people happy? After 7.5 decades of observing those lives around me, I don't see that many happy people except for the devotees. Except for the devotees. The devotees know how to appreciate happiness. They know how to get it, and they know how to keep it. And their happiness just continues to grow. So, we need to develop the proper attitude. And our attitude should be the attitude of gratitude. Be thankful. Be grateful for what you get. Let me ask you a question. Is it grateful people that are happy? Or is it happy people that are grateful? Yeah. Happy people, they're grateful. That's how they stay happy. They're thankful and grateful to who? Krishna. Krishna is the source of all sources. Krishna is the source of everything. If I'm working hard to please Krishna, then I will always be happy. Always. But that doesn't make sense though, does it? In the material world, people will tell you that no, you only get happy if you work hard to please yourself. Isn't it? Everybody tells you that. Mother, father, grandma, grandpa, next door, friends. You got to work hard to get all the happiness that you can get. Down in Mexico, they say you have to grab all the gusto that you can. Gusto, happiness. You have to grab the gusto, you see, while you can. Grab the happiness. But that's not the nature of the soul. Speaking of the soul, does anybody here believe that you have a soul? Show. You believe you have a soul? Ah, there you go, smart. I always say, I like to ask this question a lot. Because if you have a soul, then who and what is this you that has a soul? So what you're doing is you're separating you, the soul, you're pushing it away and making it someone else because you're identifying with the body. That's kind of sad because you're not the body. If you are this body, then you're in a world of trouble. Because I'm here to tell you, if you live a healthy life, you're going to get old. And that's no prize. It's no fun to get old. And you're going to die. If you are your body, you will die. That's not a good deal. You're not the body. You are the soul. Later on this evening, we're going to talk about the definition of what this soul is. Are any of you going to be here this evening? Come if you can. This is going to be fun. Oh, okay. Then we'll talk more about this evening. So, let's back up. Be grateful. Be grateful for what you have and stop hankering for what you don't have. More than likely, from what you have right this minute. By the way, is everybody here feeling good? You feeling good? Arriba. Happy? Arriba. Satisfied? Arriba. Then there's nothing to hanker for, is there? Just be happy and grateful for what you have. It's kind of difficult because all of our lives we're always hankering for something else. Because material possessions and the place where we are in our material development is never really all we want. The material energy is always promising, you just keep going, it'll get better. But it really doesn't, you see. It doesn't. Time just passes, you see. So it's important for you to get something worth having. And that's the realization that you and Krishna are one and the same, except different. You see? You're Krishna's eternal associate. You are. That ought to make you very happy. Now, in your consciousness, you've left Krishna for right now. You may think, well, if I'm Krishna's eternal associate, where is he? Krishna is right next to you. Param Atma. You are the Atma. Krishna is right next to you, like two birds in a tree. You decided that you wanted to be happy without Krishna. And so Krishna allowed his material energy, Maya Devi, to confuse you and lure you into a world and elude you to thinking that you're away from Krishna. But you can't get away from Krishna. Is it possible to get away from Krishna? Why? That's Krishna. This is Krishna. The air is Krishna. Everything comes from Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy. Everything, you see. But you need some shroud of illusion to believe that you're away from God. Why, many people believe there is no God. Some people wonder, could there be a God? Maybe there is a God. Maybe there's not a God. Just see how wonderful this Maya is. she can actually delude you into thinking that you're away from the source of everything. But our intelligence will tell us that's not even possible. If you believe in God, if you believe that God is the source of everything, if you believe that, it's not even possible for you to get away from Krishna. But your consciousness can believe that you're away from Krishna. And so you're not getting any enjoyment from your association, your relationship with Krishna. You're trying to get enjoyment from your association with Maya. You're trying to squeeze some reality out of that which is not real. You're seeking truth in illusion. It can never work. The material energy can never give you happiness that you can keep. It's not meant to do that. It's meant to keep you thinking that if you work harder, make more money, someday happiness will come. So therefore, you never get satisfaction. You never get to the point of being satisfied. Because I have some today, but later, sometime later, I'll get the real happiness. And it's always later. Through your 20s, I'll work hard. I've got my education. I've got a good job. I'll work hard. I'll get a promotion. And through your 30s, you're getting some promotion. And you're making some headway in the world. Maybe find a good mate and have some children. And then 40s come. Now you've got some experience that'll push you forward. Okay? Still waiting for it, aren't you? Why, if I work hard, and then all of the hard work and everything, maybe that didn't work out, you're still not happy. Maybe I need another wife. Maybe I need a wife and a girlfriend. This is common, isn't it? This doesn't just happen in the movies. This happens even in India. Because I'm not happy with what I have. I want more. Happiness is coming. Someday happiness is coming. More money. More women. More. Satisfaction is slipping through my fingers. Satisfaction is what you want. You want that taste where you say, this is it. You get that from being Krishna conscious. So let me read a quick verse, and then we'll have questions and answers, okay? Is that all right? Let's hear what Krishna has to say. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verse 16. Krishna says, Manaha parasad sadaha somyatvam monamatma venigraha bhavasam sudir ityeta tapto manasam uchyate.
Bhagavad Gita 17 verse 17:16. Krishna says, and satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. The austerity of the mind to feel satisfied. Why is it an austerity of the mind?
Because the mind is not trained to be satisfied. The mind has been trained through billions of births in this material world that you just keep on working hard. Satisfaction will someday come. So does it come when you're 75, 85? Satisfaction comes if you're in your 80s. You're too old to even know. What is the satisfaction? It certainly isn't sex life. It certainly isn't money. Why, nowadays, it used to be when you work hard, at the end of the week, your boss would give you gold. Here you go, you worked hard. Take your gold. And you look at all this gold I have. So then you take it home and you hide it somewhere, and eventually you have a pile of gold, but you can't eat it. I guess you could try, but what can you do with it? You can see it. Oh, look, I have so much gold. You see? Then it got to the point where instead of giving you a handful of gold, your boss would give you some paper money, rupees, rupee notes. And so you think, oh, look at all this. Maybe I'll put it in the bank because I'm afraid somebody will break in the house and steal it like they did my gold. So you put the rupees in the bank. Then it got to the point where your boss, instead of giving you gold or rupee notes, he would give you a check. And you would take the check and you would put that in the bank. You see? And the satisfaction is you can look at your bank balance and there's a number there. And it tells you how much rupees you have. And you look at it and say, oh. Now it's even different. Now the employer does direct deposit, huh? Isn't it? Do they do that here in India? So you don't even get a check. You just look in your computer and the numbers are bigger. You don't get to touch the gold or the rupee notes. This is just the number in the computer, and that's giving you happiness. Oh, look, the number is bigger. Oh, Haribo. Why, last week it was this, and then now it's this. So, tell me, when does the satisfaction come in? Because you're going to have to work until you retire. When do you get the satisfaction? Krishna is saying here, satisfaction, simplicity, living a simple life. You can try to polish it up and make it fancy. Is that really going to make you happy? Not a chance. Gravity. What does gravity mean? It doesn't mean being sad and unhappy. Gravity means not speaking nonsense, speaking words of value, words that are valuable to you and valuable to the ears that receive your words. That's gravity. You see, it can be funny. If you're Krishna conscious, surely you're going to be funny. Krishna is funny, isn't he? Krishna loves to be funny. Why, he's the funniest. He's the source of fun. He's the source of all bliss. So it doesn't mean that you are not happy. Self-control. Krishna says self-control. Control yourself. The mind says, this wife is no good. I think I need a new wife. This job is no good. I should get another job. I'm not happy. I need this. Hankering and lamenting. Hankering for what I don't have and lamenting because I don't have it. This becomes a way of life for those of us who live in this material world if we let Mother Maya Devi control us. This is a fact. Can anyone dispute this? It's okay if you don't believe, just say. How can you dispute this? Purification of one's existence. This makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It's happier, or it's easier to be happy when your existence is more purified. These are words of wisdom. This is the Gita wisdom, Krishna's wisdom. Purify your existence. Why? Look at the purification in this room. Look at the purification by associating with the people that you associate with. Your very way of life. Your associates. Purify your existence. More and more and more. It's a continuous thing, you see. Your existence is not contaminated, because the more you purify your existence, the impurities are pushed away. Purifications of one's existence, these are the austerities of the mind. In other words, we have to tell the mind, my dear mind, let us be satisfied from what we have. If you have purified your existence, then you should be satisfied with what you have and grateful. Thank you, Krishna. Oh, my dear Lord Krishna, thank you. I don't deserve it, but you've given me such a wonderful life. Let me please empower me to serve you. I have no potency of my own. I'm begging you, please empower me to show my love to you. Empower me to please you, and empower me to please your devotees. So, if we can do like that, we'll become grateful. We'll have gratitude. And gratitude becomes our attitude. Not grateful once in a while. Every minute of every day, the devotee is thankful. I'm so thankful that I turned towards Krishna, turned away from Maya. I am so fortunate. Say to yourself, I'm a lucky guy. Let me hear you say it. I'm a lucky guy.
I'm a lucky guy.
How lucky are you? Say it again. Mean it. I'm a lucky guy.
I'm a lucky guy.
There you go. Now you're acting like a lucky guy. You're fortunate. You've got something to be grateful for. You're very fortunate. You're a very lucky guy. So I'm going to pause here and ask if there are any questions or comments or criticisms. It's okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If any questions, feel comfortable. Raise your hand.
Please be comfortable. You're amongst friends.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anyhow, we are audible. Anybody has any question, raise your hand.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Madam. He's passing out this way.
Yeah?
कृष्ण प्रभु
Hare Krishna.
आवाज आ रही
That's good.
how to be more fixed, more sincere in the path of devotion, and have more fortitude for performing devotional practice, and have more yes how to be more fixed, more sincere in path of devotion, and have more fortitude for performing devotional practice, hearing, reading, and chanting.
You have to sharpen your blades. You know? Keep the blade sharp. You always practice. We never think, I've made it. You think, I'm making great progress, but Krishna's unlimited. I'm part of his energy. I'm also unlimited. Krishna will empower me more and more. So that's what you want. That's what you're asking, isn't it? Ask Krishna for it. You don't have to throw yourself down on your knees and say, oh, Lord, please. No, just talk to Krishna. Krishna, please help me in my chanting. I have this desire. I want my chanting to improve. I want to please my Guru, and I want to please you, my Lord. But I depend on your empowerment. I am simply your energy. You are the energetic. You are the source of all energy. I depend on you, my Lord. So, ask Krishna. Just talk to him. Not just once. Not just once a week. Every day. Take a minute. Maybe when you're driving someplace, or if you've got a minute. It doesn't have to be a big, long, formal prayer. It's just, Krishna, please help me. I depend on you for everything. One characteristic of the gopis is that they knew that they depended on Krishna for everything. They felt like, Krishna, I have nothing but you. Why, there is nothing but you. Now that's clear understanding. That's easy for us to understand. Krishna, I don't have anything but you. There is nothing but you. So therefore, everything comes from you. Everything attractive comes from you. You see, my very success that I want to be a better devotee will come from you. You have to empower me. You see. So, as soon as Krishna smells a little bit of sincerity, you don't have to get to the point where you're fully sincere. Little whiff of sincerity, Krishna will act. Ah, you're so sincere. Yes, yes, I will grant you what you want. That's what he wants. This is what he wants to hear from you. Krishna wants you to be a pure devotee. And Krishna's used to getting what he wants. God usually gets what he wants. But you have free will. And he'll never remove your free will. So he waits. And he may send you devotee association to attract you till you get that sincere desire. And then you ask him, Krishna, please make me your devotee. Please, I need you to empower me to be your devotee. And Krishna says, that's all I wanted to hear. That's already yours. And then, the next day, you say the same prayer. Every day. Krishna, please make me your devotee. Don't start thinking, I prayed to Krishna. I asked him to make me a good devotee, and just look, now I'm a really good devotee. I don't have to pray to Krishna anymore. No, it's not like that. It's such a sweet reciprocation between you and Krishna. You'll pray every day. Please, Krishna, make me your devotee. Please empower me to serve you as you see fit. And that'll be such a sweet way of living your life and Krishna will empower you. Does that answer your question? Ask him. Yeah. Wait a minute, can you have two? Yeah, okay, two. Oh, okay. In my childhood, I grew up, I didn't have a very good childhood. My family was very poor, very poor. And so I lived in a bad part of town, lots of crime, not a very nice surrounding. And so life was very difficult. And so I left home early. I was like maybe 16 when I left. Somehow or other I finished high school. I didn't have time to go to college, so I went to work. And as soon as I left the environment that I was in and started to work, Krishna started to send me material gains. Then I got into sales, marketing, and I started to make lots of money. Even when I was very young, 19, 20 years old, I was making lots of money. Always thinking maybe someday I'll go get college education, but I was making good money. And so since I was making more money, I thought, now I can enjoy. Oh, now. Why, all my life I was poor. I couldn't enjoy like the other kids. Why, these other people, they were in homes where their fathers had plenty of money. You see, I couldn't enjoy like them. I couldn't afford the finer things of life, but now I can. And I'm still young, and I tried so hard. And I couldn't enjoy. I had plenty of money, girlfriends. I had adult toys. I had fast cars, motorcycles, all the things that you spend money on to have fun. And it was kind of like fun, but it was like I was saying, it's like, here comes the fun, here comes the enjoyment, here comes the happiness, but it just, it comes and then it kept going, and I kept wanting, well, maybe if I have 2 motorcycles, 2 expensive Harley Davidson motorcycles, yeah. So then I got them. One of them was very fast, hot rod, and one of them was big highway. You could ride across America in it. And that was kind of fun for a while, but then, now what? And so I kept getting back into that position of, okay, what next? So much I've wanted and so much I've achieved, but here I am still wanting more. So what next? And when I was a child, I went to church, and I was interested in God, and I asked all kinds of questions. And they didn't have an answer for my questions. And they told me, look, there are some things that God just doesn't want you to know. Because I wanted to know, what is God like? What is it like to be with God? I wanted to know that. I was curious. It doesn't say like that in the Bible. It doesn't give you that answer. So here I was. I had never gotten answers. I had all these big questions. I'd never gotten answers. I'd made lots of money, but I've never really gotten any enjoyment that I could keep. And so I was very upset. And I was walking down the street. Very upset. Why can't I enjoy? For the money I make 5 times as much money as you do. I should enjoy 5 times more than you. That's my entitlement, yes? That's the way I thought, and that's the way wealthy people think. I make so much more money. I should enjoy more. It should work that way, shouldn't it? That's logical. Materially, that's logical, but it doesn't work. And so I was really upset. And so as I was walking down the street, there was this devotee. I didn't know he was a devotee, but he's standing there. As I started to pass by, he said, "Here, take this." And he put a Bhagavad Gita in my face. And I saw this Bhagavad Gita. I had heard of Bhagavad Gita, but I had never seen one. And I said, "What is this?" And he said, "This is the answer to all of your questions." So, at that time, I lived in an area that was close to many mountains. And I had bought a Jeep. One of these Jeeps that you take out into the mountains. Wasn't meant to drive on the street. It was meant to take out in the wilds. So I took a tent, and I took my Jeep and the Bhagavad Gita, and I went out in the mountains, and I stayed out there for 10 days, and I read the Bhagavad Gita again and again. And when I came back out of the wilderness, I was a whole new man. I decided I'm going to find this Swami who wrote this Bhagavad Gita. And I'm going to pursue this Bhagavad Gita way of life. This is the first time that I've ever felt fulfilled. Hare Krishna. I feel fulfilled. Why, the Bhagavad Gita told me who I am. It told me what I could have to look forward to. It described the kind of life that I want. I didn't know this kind of life was available. I want this. I want to find these devotees, and I want to pursue this. So that was in 1973, and I think I was 25, maybe 25. And so I decided I'm not going to go to college. What do I need with college? It'll teach me how to make more money? Well, I've already made more money than most college graduates ever make. And here I am. No, I want this Bhagavad Gita wisdom. I want this Gita wisdom. I want this Gita way of life. I want to live like this book. This book says how to live. I want to be like this. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Does that answer your question? It's not an exciting, many devotees have a much more exciting story. Mine is just... Then you get carried away. We get carried away. Once we get into this Krishna consciousness, you get carried away. And I'll give you warning right now. Most of you have been practicing for about a year? A year? More than? How many years? Okay. So let me give you a fair warning, okay? That there is a point of no return. Tamal Krishna Maharaj told me this. Prabhupada told him, the point of no return. You get to the point to where you've tasted enough Krishna consciousness, and there's no going back. There's no going back. Because once you start facing Krishna, when you're facing Krishna, in reality, what is behind you? Nothing. Nothing. Void. Krishna, everything is emanating from Krishna. Once you start to approach Krishna, if you're going to turn around, where do you think you're going to go? You need more illusion. Once you get some intelligence, how do you dumb yourself down? What do you take a stick and beat yourself in the head? To be stupid? How do you become stupid once you get some knowledge? Knowledge will change you. If you sincerely read Bhagavad Gita, you'll get to the point that you'll chant so nicely. You'll be so grateful to have this life, and you'll pass the point of no return. Where is there to go? Unless you find a way to become stupid. That's not easy to do. Once you get intelligence, isn't it? How do you become unintelligent? That doesn't make sense. So you should work to that point. Look for that point to where you get to the point of no return. And don't ever think that you've made it. Always think, I could fall down at any minute. At any minute. Maya could get me. Please, Krishna, please protect me. You know this song? Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimha Pralada Lada Daine Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Sila Kankana Kalaye Ito Nishinha Parato Nishinha Yato Yato Yamita To Nishinha Bahir Nishinha Hridaye Nishinha Nrisingamadin Saranam Prapade You sang that before, right? You're asking Lord Nrsingadev to protect you, right? Protect you from what? Lions? Tigers? What is it? What do you want protection? What do you want protected? And what do you want to be protected from? This is important. Otherwise, we're just making words. My dear Lord Nrsingadev, please protect my devotional creeper. You know, devotional creeper? If you put a seed in the ground and it sprouts, that's a creeper. Now you've got this sprout of devotion. So then you water it by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you're sincere, that leads to seva. You start to do some seva. And the sprout's growing more and more and more. And so you're begging, my dear Lord Nrsingadev, please protect this sprout of devotion. This is all I have. This is me. This is all I want. I'm not asking you to protect these bones. Please protect this sprout of devotion. Please keep me associated with these people. Please, I beg you, let me associate with your devotees. That's what we're asking for. Please protect my devotional sprout. Please empower me to fertilize it with seva. Please allow me to associate with your devotees. Therefore, I will always be happy in your devotional service. So we should think like that. We're not concerned. If I live, my body stays healthy, but my devotional sprout, my creeper dies, I lost. Healthy body, diseased spiritual life, not a good deal. You see? Is that a good answer?
Hare Krishna, any other question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful class. So my question is, like, I have heard that like in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is given Lovo Matra Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Like you told about the concept of satisfaction, the austerity of mind and gratefulness. So like when we try to practice something, we endeavor with our whatever we have the energy, we try to endeavor for that particular thing. But when we associate with some pure devotee, so by associating with those personalities, we, by seeing their examples, their behaviors, that is like, contaminating. They are grateful, so by seeing them, we are also becoming grateful. So like my question is, how your interactions with Prabhupada made you grateful and satisfied in your life. So some interactions I want to.
Good question. I didn't have very much direct association with Srila Prabhupada. By the time I came along, there were thousands of devotees. But I went to many classes where Prabhupada was giving class. In 1976, in Mayapur, Prabhupada gave class every day for a month. 30 straight, maybe 31, maybe even more. Prabhupada gave class every day. And so, but whenever I was at Prabhupada's classes, New York, San Francisco, Chicago, Mayapur, I always would think of a question that I wanted to ask. And then I thought, a question, so I'll get on the recording. People will hear me talking, asking Prabhupada a question. So I chastised myself right away. Anyway, you just want recognition. And then during the course of his class, he would answer that question, even though I didn't ask it. I had decided I'm not going to ask this question because I'm just showing off, because the class is being recorded and they get to hear my voice. Then the people that I'm preaching to, I could say, hey, listen to this tape. That's me asking that. So I didn't want to do like that. I mean, I wanted to do like that, but I caught myself. But Prabhupada answered the question anyway. So, but more important than personal, what is it, Bonnie? Personal association. Vapu is personal. Even more important than that is Vani, Glora Vani Pracharini. We want to be Vani. We need the Vani of Prabhupada. We need Vani of our Guru. And those two should be the same. If the Guru is bona fide, then he's giving you Prabhupada. He's giving you Prabhupada Vani. And he doesn't change it. He doesn't say, well, Prabhupada says this, but I think I'm going to take this out, and I'll just give you this. No. He gives you. It comes down through the disciplic succession, and Guru gives it to you, unchanged. So, we need to hear. We need to hear a lot. My godbrother Vaisheshika Prabhu, I always like to quote him. He says, you've got to hear a lot. You've got to hear every day. You've got to hear a lot every day. Hear as much as you can. That includes reading. Reading is hearing also. It's an assassination attempt. I'm glad we chanted the Nrsimha prayer. So we've got to chant, and we've got to hear. We've got to listen to, watch video, listen to recordings, audio, video, come to class, ask questions. You see, we need to do that a lot. It's most important. But Prabhupada had this way of seemingly just knowing, and many people have agreed he knew what was in your mind. He could kind of tell. I remember, I'll tell you a little story. Do we have time? If I'm taking too long, just let me know. I was in Mayapur in 1976, and they made an announcement that no one should go with Prabhupada on morning walk. It's only for sannyasis, GBCs, and some temple presidents. But at that time, we had a big crowd. There were like 700 devotees. Now, nowadays, 700 people in Mayapur is nothing. But this was the only building we had in those days was the Lotus building. And so 700 devotees was a lot. And so they didn't want 700 devotees going on morning walk with Prabhupada. That wouldn't. But I wanted to go. I wanted to be with Prabhupada. So I decided that I was going to pretend to be a photographer. Hey, I see the photographers all the time. They're walking by Prabhupada. They get real close. I thought, so I'll pretend. Who'll know? Who'll know? And so I had this little cheap camera, 35 millimeter cheap little camera. And so I was behind this one building that's no longer there. It's all, Mayapur is all different. And Prabhupada, I knew, I'd watched his morning habit. He would come down this same path every day. And so I was behind this building and I could see, here comes Prabhupada. I peeked around, there's Prabhupada. All the sannyasis are there. You can see the dunda sticking up in the air. And so when Prabhupada got about as far as from here to in the corner there, I stepped out and I went, like I'm a professional photographer. And when I did that, Prabhupada looked at me and he went, he gave me this marvelous pose. And I'm like this. And so Prabhupada looked at me and went, like, are you going to take the picture? Oh, yeah. I'm a photographer. We're supposed to take pictures. Yeah. So Prabhupada gave me this pose. I click. And I took a couple more and he started walking and he walked right past me and I just fell in right behind him. And so Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Vishnu John Swami were giving me elbows. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, the mercy is for the bold. The mercy is for the bold. Bold. He said that took courage. Because I knew I could get chastised, but I did it. I stepped in. And so Prabhupada knew that I wasn't a photographer. He knew I didn't belong there. But he would look and smile, you know, like, you devil. So then every day I would join in, take a few pictures, pretend to be a photographer, and walk along, you know, and listen to what Prabhupada had to say. And, you know, the sannyasis that I knew, they would look at me and grin and smile. Prabhupada would smile, look at me like, couldn't fool Prabhupada. I should have known that nobody's going to believe it. But they let me go along every day, so those were awfully fun times. It was pretty sweet. So, okay, what else? Huh? Online, yes. Who is online there? Who are you and what do you want? Hare Krishna.
Thank you for being wonderful class. It was very inspiring. Actually, yesterday I was getting one lecture from Krishnanand Prabhu. So he had come to Bangalore temple. So he was actually leading some of the book and pastime of Tukaram Maharaj. And he was quoting one pastime where Lord takes out the big thorn from the white feet. He was
Who wrote what?
Hare Krishna. In Maharashtra, there is a deity of Lord Vitthal. So there was a great devotee called Tukaram Maharaj. So deities, there was one devotee who was serving the parents, and when Lord comes to meet that devotee, then he says, I am serving my parents, wait for some time, and meets Lord. He gives a brick to the Lord, and Lord is staying on the brick. So this pastime has happened, everybody speaks. So this has happened between that devotee and Lord. So who has made it written on the book?
How does that get? Why is that so important? Is that what you?
Yes, and so that's what the question is like, sometimes it doesn't allow mind to fully surrender onto the Lord. So how can we get out of this all doubts and get more conviction practicing this? And a lot of places, nowadays we see even historian, they write what they want and they just print anything. So sometimes that the faith, this go topsy turvy, and we don't feel that faith. So if I want to get out of it, what can we do?
So
The
basically,
question is that how so many historians have distorted with the history, etc. So maybe some devotees also are just saying their own imaginations. It may be true, may not be true, that Lord has really reciprocated or not. So how shall I put my faith? Go to the
This is
Or
a very intelligent question. I can tell that you're a good thinker, a deep thinker. But what a lot of people don't do is they don't understand what is the nature of faith. We say every religion, in so many different places in life, people want you to have faith, right? I want you to buy this water. It's good for you. Have faith, right? Buy this car. It's a good car. I want your faith so that you'll give me your money and take my product. You have to have faith that this school is a good school for you. You have to have faith that this teacher is a good teacher. You have to have faith, have faith, have faith. So, with all this faith, is faith really all there is? I mean, is faith just there? And what is faith supposed to give you? Do you just invest your faith? You just give faith? How do you ever know? Faith should turn into knowing. If I say, buy this Kinley water, it's very good. This will quench your thirst. And you have faith, and you give me 30 rupees. And then I give it to you, and now you had faith, and now it's time to know. You taste it. Right? Faith should come to knowing. This is very important. Because you've never heard this before, is because material faith turns into knowing, generally, that you invested your faith wrong. You see? So faith should turn into knowing. Faith in God should give you knowing God. Well, wait a minute, though. Can you actually know God? Can you know God? Huh? Well, what does Krishna say? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayashtakta Manaha Parta Yogam Yunjam Mad Ashrayaha Asamsayam Samakramam Yathaja Gyasyasi Touch Trinu. Touch Trinu. Just here, Krishna says. What is Krishna saying here? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this is very important. Now here, touch Trinu. O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Now that is faith well placed. Krishna says, practicing yoga in full consciousness of me. And no, it doesn't mean go down to the corner and go to the yoga place and go down there and stretch. That's not the kind of yoga Krishna's talking about. He's talking about bhakti yoga. Practice this bhakti yoga in full consciousness of me. Chant this Hare Krishna. Offer loving seva to me, with mind attached to me. Attach your mind to me. There's no one else as attractive as me. There's no one else worth being attracted to. I'm the most attractive. With mind attracted to me. If you do this in time, you'll become attached. By contemplating the objects of the senses, one becomes attached. By contemplating and making Krishna the object of your senses, the satisfactor of your senses, Krishna does that, right? By doing that, you become attached. You become attached to Krishna. He says at that point, you can know me in full, free from doubt. No doubt. So this is important. We have to invest our faith in Krishna. Practice bhakti yoga in full consciousness of Krishna, with mind attached to him. That means always contemplating, how can I serve you, Krishna? How can I serve your devotees? What can I do to make you happy? You see? And in a short time, you come to know him in full, free from doubt. Now, I think your question was kind of like, how can someone more insignificant become noted in Shastra? Is that it? Was that part of the question? Huh?
So, not exactly how it is noted in Shastra, but how we get to the Shastra and how we can put more faith, whatever the written. So, I understand that Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, the authority, I understand, is it is written by someone empowered by the Lord. But when we hear about Tukaram Maharaj, that the book, so I got a doubt. Like now, it seems to me like is kind of some history, and I was not able to put more faith. Like who have written this book, and if somebody asked me actually, like this pastimes and all is coming from whom, then how should I answer? Now, to me, it is more nourishing when I hear about Tukaram Maharaj. But when somebody asks me, like, who wrote this book, how you are quoting this pastimes, then how would I answer this to them?
Well, this Srimad Bhagavatam was written by the literary incarnation of Krishna himself, Srila Vyasadeva.
Yes.
Krishna incarnated to write this book, the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam has always existed, but it was written, this time, it was written by Krishna himself in that incarnation, you see. Now, someone may want to discuss that point, all right? So maybe you can't get them, maybe there's not an answer that will make them feel satisfied. Maybe there's not an answer that you can give them to make them feel like, oh, okay, yes, okay, now I want to chant Hare Krishna. Why are we looking at this particular detail when there are so many other wonderful details to look at? You see, why are we looking at this one? In other words, I need to have some doubt. I need it. Why? Because I feel the gravity is, like gravity is pulling. Gravity pulls everything, holds everything on the planet. The gravity pulls the meteors from the sky. They try to fly past the earth, but the gravity pulls it in. So here you're feeling yourself being pulled in by this gravity of love of Godhead. This bhakti yoga. You're being attracted. And so I need some doubt. Well, how do I even know this is true? How do I know this is true? Can you prove it's true? Sometimes we have to answer questions with questions. You ever notice that? How do we know it's true? How do you know it's not true? How can you prove that actually happened? How do you prove that it doesn't happen? You see? Do you have proof that it didn't happen? Can you defeat it? Does it even matter? Maybe we should talk. Let me ask you a question, my dear sir. Why aren't we talking about Krishna and your eternal relationship with him? You see? Why are we talking about this? It's because you're looking for a crack in the philosophy. You're looking for a way to, as they say in the West, weasel out. You're looking for a way to sneak out. And that's kind of a good sign because you're being attracted. You're being attracted to this philosophy. So now I'm looking desperately, well, what about this? How do I know this is even true? If they were indifferent, well, now they don't care. Indifferent. What do I care if it's true or not? I don't accept this philosophy. What do I care? But when they're interested, how do I know this is true? So you're not indifferent. You're interested. You're so interested. And so you're trying to find a way to defeat it because you're being pulled in. You see? And I say to that, nice try. And how's that working for you? Is it defeating? Are you defeating the philosophy because it can't be proven? Have you found? So you're the guy, after thousands of years, you're the guy that was able to disprove this philosophy. So you're going to go down in history. Is that what you're looking for? You're going to be the guy, the one? Huh? They'll put posters up and pictures of your name. Pictures of your face, and your name will be everywhere. Is that what you're trying to do? This is desperate. You're focusing on something that this doesn't even matter. Because I can't give you an answer to make you feel warm and fuzzy about it. I can't. You see, I'm going to ask you for more faith. And I'm going to ask you to focus on Krishna's names, form, attributes. Maybe you should stop right where you are and read Krishna book. And then maybe go back and read this part of the Bhagavatam with a different frame of mind. You see, you have to practice, as Krishna is saying here, practice yoga in full consciousness of me, not in full doubt. It's not going to work. At least have some faith. Have some faith. It's like these Prabhus. I hadn't eaten any breakfast, and so they gave me some nice fruit and some nice dahi, nice yogurt from fresh milk from the cows. And so he was telling me, Prabhu was saying, oh, this dahi is so good. And so I'm having faith. This dahi is from the cows. It's fresh from the cows. Oh, I have faith. So, knowing comes when I taste it. Ah, yes, this is the best. So that's the way it should work. I invest faith. You make some statement. I invest faith that you're telling me the truth. Then I taste it and I say, oh, yes. So the proof is in the tasting. If you want proof, if you want to prove or disprove this Krishna consciousness, taste it. Take it up. Chant this Hare Krishna. Or spend your time going through the books looking for things that maybe will help you with your doubts. I don't want faith. I want doubts. I want to get away from Krishna. Well, that's what got you in the material world to begin with. You wanted to get away from Krishna. And gee whiz, here you are reading Srimad Bhagavatam. It didn't work, did it? You can get away from Krishna in your consciousness, but you can't stay away from him. Because you're always eternally attracted to Krishna. You know there's nothing else to be attracted to. There's no other attractive force like Krishna. You know that. But you're trying to get away from it. That's why you came here. So, once we read and hear enough, we'll start to understand. We should read more. We should read a lot. We should read every day. Prabhupada wanted us to read minimum 1 hour per day. Read. Get to know this Bhagavad Gita. Get to know Bhagavad Gita, then move on. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. You can move on, you see. Get to know all of your answers, just like the devotee told me. All of the answers that you have are in this Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam will expand on the answers. Chaitanya Charitamrita will give even sweeter answers. But all the philosophy and all the answers to any question you could ever have are in Bhagavad Gita. Just get to know it and know it well. That's kind of a long-winded answer. Did that answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, please.
Okay, good question. Very good. This is common. There are many people who will try to look for some place like, oh, I'm going to disprove it right here. You can't prove it. Yeah, well, you can't disprove it. Did you have a question? Yeah.
So I think, as you rightly said, that how he is being attracted by Krishna. The pull of Krishna is so strong.
He's being attracted.
So what can we do? He's so badly attracted, and fight between Krishna and Maya. Krishna will win.
Because you can see that he's asking questions about Krishna. If he had no interest, he would be disinterested. He would say, yeah, Krishna, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about, hey, did you see the cricket match last night? Wasn't that something? Whoa, I'm telling you. You know, but there's something, but no, there's, it's like Kamsa. He was very Krishna conscious, wasn't he? He thought about Krishna a lot. He couldn't forget about Krishna. So, yeah. Krishna is all attractive.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, as you are practicing Krishna consciousness since so long, so how do you stay enthusiastic towards waking up early in the morning, regular book reading, hearing, and chanting.
It's like I was saying earlier, you should picture, how do you want your movie to end? I mean, this world is all about desires. You're here because you had desires to get away from Krishna. So therefore, this world is created for people like us who had the desire to get away from Krishna. So this illusory world is created for that. So you had a desire for an outcome. You wanted to get away from Krishna. You got that. So here we are in this human life. What if you were writing the story of your life? What if you were the author? What if Krishna handed you the pen to write? What if that were true? Could that be true? You're having so many desires and they're being fulfilled? Maybe not right away, but actually it's like that. Krishna fulfills all desires. So here you are in this human form of life. And if you stop behaving like an animal, the animal simply is looking for a place to sleep, something to eat, a mate. And now that I have eating and sleeping and mating, now I can defend it. That's the animal. All species of life do that. So now the human being doesn't have to be controlled by this eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. You see, we have this brain, this human brain. So it really is, as we desire, Krishna will fulfill. If I decide I want to go away from Krishna, he gave me an imaginary world. He gave me a world that doesn't exist. He gave me a world that it's apparent to many people in this world that there is no God. That's just his illusory energy, you see. What if I could change my desires and actually desire my life to take a different shape? I want to be a devotee of Krishna. And so what if I can desire that I'm going to work my life, I'm going to perform all the devotional service that I can, and when I get old enough that I don't have to work anymore, that I can retire, I'm going to take Vanaprast, and I'm just going to spread this Krishna consciousness. And that's the way I want my movie to be, you see. And so when I get my end to my story that I wanted, how hard do you think I have to work on myself? It's like I got what I wanted. I wanted this all my life. 50 years. You see, I wanted this. So Krishna says, okay, you can have it. You can have it. This is what you want. You want to be you want to speak? Then I'll speak through you. People will think that you're smart, but it's just my words. It's just my Bhagavad Gita that you're saying. It's just Srila Prabhupada's purports that are backing up my words. But I'll give it to you. I'll empower you. But you just continue with that desire. You see. So I'm getting the end to my movie that I wanted. The only thing is, I don't know how much better Krishna is going to make it. I had the general idea, but Krishna's filling in the details. My life just keeps getting better and better. Krishna's giving me more and more nice service. Several years ago, it became evident that I should start taking disciples because I was preaching and so many people wanted to be initiated. It wasn't my plan, but as it turned out, it seems like it was Krishna's plan. And so I thought, okay, I'll surrender I didn't want, I didn't have that as part of the plan. You see, I was feeling old and I wanted to have a more peaceful life. And I'm thinking, let me just make devotees and then maybe they'll become your disciples. And then a few of my god brothers told me that you need to grow up. If you're going to preach, people are going to want to take shelter. So you have to really consider becoming guru. So this was Krishna's plan. It wasn't my plan. But as it turned out, it was very wonderful because I get to see these wonderful people come and take shelter. They start to read Prabhupada's books and take up some seva. And now they've turned into fabulous devotees. You see? Fabulous devotees. I didn't plan that. I'm getting what I wanted, but Krishna has some other nice things that I wasn't smart enough to plan. You see? So it's great. It's everything that I thought it would be, plus a lot more. You see? So that's what keeps me going. I don't have anything else to do. I don't know what I would do if I didn't do what I do. I mean, I don't know. It's not like I think, boy, I would like to go retire on the beach. That would last for maybe a day or two, or maybe 3 or 4 days I could just, retire on the beach. No. I'm addicted to associating with people like you. I'm addicted to doing this that we're doing right now. This is rewarding. This is rewarding to me. This is sweetness. I feel so indebted to Lord Chaitanya for using me to spread his movement. He's so sweet that he will engage me like this. And he gives me the empowerment to do it. All I have to do is have some desire. I just have to have some desire, and everything else happens for me. I have to try. I have to have some desire and have to try. And Lord Chaitanya, he empowers, yes. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. So I don't know what else there is to do. Some of my god brothers, they are old too, and they have grandchildren, and they have a good life. But I couldn't just chant my rounds and go to the temple and play with my grandkids every day. I couldn't do that. I have grandkids, but I see them once in a while. But I want to see you. I want to see you and people that you know. I want to do what Srila Prabhupada wants me to do. It makes me feel very happy. So it's not like I have to make myself do much of anything. Sometimes my body is not doing very well, so that I have to make the body, and sometimes I have to let the body rest. Sometimes I have to take a couple of days and let it rest because it doesn't work like it used to. But does that answer your question? Yeah. I don't know what else I would do. I don't have any desire to do anything else. When we practice this devotional service, we get such a taste for it that it gets to the point that we don't even ask for liberation anymore. In the beginning, we want liberation, isn't it? Why? Because it's the best thing for me. Why, it's the smart thing to do. I think I'll take up this Krishna consciousness because it's good. That's going to be good for me. That's all about me. Now that's intelligent, but somewhere along the way, we'll start to want to do for Krishna. We'll get a taste of satisfying Krishna. And then we get a bigger taste and a little bit more taste. And then we get to the point where that's really all we want to do. Krishna, you can put in the postal code where you want me to serve you. That doesn't matter. This planet, this country, that country. I just want to do my service. Not the devotee. What is it, the fourth verse of Dhammadarashtika? How does it go? Varamdeva moksham na moksha vademva. I'm not even asking you for liberation, Krishna. That's off the table. I was asking you in the beginning, but I'm leaving that up to you. I asked for devotional service. Now I'm attached to devotional service. I'm good. I'm satisfied. As far as I'm concerned, this can go on as long as you want. What if my spiritual master, what if Srila Prabhupada were to come and say, hey, you're finished in this body. We're going to take you out of this body, and we're going to go to this planet over in that galaxy. I've just started a new ISKCON. And I could use somebody like you. Do you think I'm going to say, oh, I want to go look at Vrindavan. I want to go see Krishna and Balaram. Huh? Yes, Prabhupada, let's go. Take mine, let's go. More service. That's what the devotee wants. I want more of this. Not something different. I want more. It's not artificial. There's nothing wrong with you want to do in the beginning wanting to do what's best for you. That's just smart. And take up this Krishna consciousness, because that's what a smart man does. And that's true. But as you practice this Krishna consciousness, somewhere along the way, you'll develop a taste. You'll become attached. No turning back. Is that a good answer? Oh, Vinda. All right. Well, thank you all for he got in just before closing time.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your class. As you told that, my question about asking question, as you told many times you were thinking I should not ask question to Prabhupada, and you were getting. So many times it happened to us also that we have something in our mind, and there is confusion. Should I share to someone or keep with me and wait and watch for getting answer, or for Krishna to reciprocate? But sometimes then in mind coming, maybe it's my false ego that I'm not humbling myself to ask. So how to understand this? Whether it's my false ego or it's my humility.
We have to be very, very careful of this false ego. We have to be very careful. Because we're not over this thinking that I am my body and I am my self-image. You see, this is a very difficult task to get over this false ego, because the mind isn't trained yet. It's not won over fully. It's not fully under your control. And it kind of still has a little control of you. You have to wrestle with it, because it's wanting to do this. You haven't fully realized that you're not your body, and therefore I'm not my mind. You see? So your mind, intelligence, what does this mean? Mind, intelligence, and false ego. What is this intelligence that we're talking about? It's an accumulation of material knowledge. Your mind is the sixth sense. It's the central processing unit that everything goes through. It's like the nose. The nose smells an aroma. And it says to the brain, to the mind, hey, is that pizza that I smell? The mind says, ooh, it is pizza. Hey, eyes, can you see pizza? So the eyes are, yeah. Hey, the nose is right. I see the pizza. Hey, tongue, what about you? Are you ready for pizza? The tongue is like, yeah, pizza. So now you're thinking, I want pizza. Tongue, nose, eyes, they're going through the brain. The mind is saying, I want pizza. You see. So, but you're not the mind. Now you, the owner of the mind, the soul, you may say, all right, yes, we can have some pizza. You see. Maybe we'll have some. Maybe we'll make some for the program tonight. Are we having pizza tonight? No? But you see how it works? Right? My dear mind, you don't control me. Pizza's not a bad idea, but I just want to remind you, you're not in control. I'm in control. You see? My tongue doesn't control. Nose doesn't control. The eyes don't control. I'm the owner. I'm the driver of this body. So as we chant Hare Krishna and as we perform loving devotional service, the mind, intelligence, and false ego dissolve. Because mind, intelligence, and false ego go with you, the soul, into the next birth. You can't get away from them. Mind, intelligence, false ego go with you birth after birth after birth. But as you chant Hare Krishna, perform devotional service, they start to dissolve. So that at the end of this lifetime, it's just you. You don't have to wrestle with mind and the intelligence and the false ego. False ego's gone. You know you're not the body. You know you're not the body. You know you're not the mind. Material and intelligence, what do I need? What does it do for me? I get my cheat. Cheat. You know what cheat is? Sat, Chit, Ananda. You, the soul, are Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, you are eternal. Chit, you're full of knowledge. Not necessarily material knowledge. Why? Real knowledge, eternal knowledge. We were talking earlier about computer science. That's pretty new knowledge, isn't it? 50 years ago, there wasn't very much, right? So now it's new. 50 years from now, it won't exist. There'll be something else. It'll be replaced. I'm talking about real, eternal knowledge. Knowledge of you, the soul, and Krishna. And how do you relate? Well, this is some smart stuff to know. You're full of knowledge. Why, you have as much knowledge as Krishna. Now, he's much more vast. And we'll talk about that this afternoon. How is that possible? That I can have the same knowledge. Sat, I'm eternal. Chit, I'm full of knowledge. And I am entitled to be always blissful. That belongs to me. Eternality is mine. I'm an eternal soul. I am full of Krishna's knowledge, and I'm entitled to always be blissful, not just happy, not just satisfied, blissful, like dancing in kirtan. Haribol. Dancing. I'm entitled to that. That belongs to me. Nobody can take that from me except I can let my mind, if I don't control it, take it away. I can approach Maya, and Maya will say, oh, you don't need this. Just come to me. Come into my arms. Come on. You know you want me. I've been your friend ever since you've been in my world. Come and let me kick you again. Has Maya ever kicked you? Huh? Only once? Again. Come. Come. Come on, baby. Let Mama kick you again. Because you want me. And I want to kick, and I'm a good kicker. You like to kick, don't you? Oh, no! I'm getting my knowledge back. I want my cheat. If I don't get my cheat, I'll feel like I'm being cheated. That's supposed to be funny. Oh, never mind. Good question. Is that a good answer? Don't let yourself forget it. I am Sat Chit Ananda. I, the eternal soul, I'm eternal. I know everything there is to be known. Why can't I recall it? Because I'm convinced that I am this body. And I follow the limitations of a body. Why, the average human brain doesn't know God? And I am an average human, right? Wrong. And as long as you believe that I am this body, you'll believe that you can't possibly know all there is to know. I have to go learn. But this knowledge belongs to you. Ananda, eternal bliss, belongs to you. You've just been cheated by Maya. And yourself, your desires to get away from Krishna. So, all right, anything else? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, does Krishna reciprocates only with devotee or materialist people also?
Krishna, he reciprocates with all of his parts and parcels. He's equal to everyone. You see, he doesn't play any favorites. And yet, he's very affectionate with his devotees, even more so. You see? So he can say, if we have that one moment of sincerity where we say, God, help me, even if we don't have faith, in a moment of desperation, God, help me. Now, 10 minutes ago, I was probably believing there is no God. But now something terrible has happened. God, help me. Krishna says that's pious. If you're desperate, Krishna says that's pious. You read that in Bhagavad Gita? What are the 4 kinds of people, auspicious people, who approach Krishna? One of them is just, they're desperate. Oh, God, help me. I don't even know if there is a God, but help me. If there's a God, help me. One of them just wants money. Hey, God, You got lots of money. I know that. Like you own everything. So, hey, kind of put some right there. That's not very loving, is it? But Krishna says that's pious. And some are just inquisitive. Hey, what is this Hare Krishna thing all about? You know, you guys seem like you're real happy. No, what is this? Krishna says that's pious. And then there's the living entity who's really trying to find. He's really inquisitive about God. I want to find God. He wasn't 10 minutes ago. He wasn't. But now I'm thinking, I'm interested. Krishna says that's pious. You see? He doesn't say you have to become a pure devotee before I start to answer your prayers. Krishna doesn't distinguish like that. Although he's especially affectionate to his devotees. That makes sense. But yet he's equal to all living entities. They're all his sweet, beloved parts and parcels. They just don't know it. It's up to you to let them know. You see? That would be a wonderful thing to do to make Krishna happy, wouldn't it? To let these people that you meet out there, let them know who they are. Why, you're part and parcel of Krishna. You're a devotee of Krishna. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. I am? Yes. You are. You're a devotee of Krishna. You may be behaving like a demon, but you're still pure part and parcel. Your consciousness is a little messed up, but you remain that pure part and parcel of Krishna. And anybody who will help that fallen conditioned soul wake up, Krishna is very favorable to him. He's very happy, very happy. And when you make Krishna happy, that makes you very happy. Because that's what you do. That's what a soul does. Soul, that's the functionality of the living entity. When you're functioning, you please Krishna. When you aren't trying to please Krishna, you're trying to please yourself, you're malfunctioning. So you can't be satisfied. This is just logic. This can't be argued, or nobody can prove this to be wrong. This is the function of the living entity, to love God and to show this love by doing some seva that gives us tremendous ecstasy. And when we're not doing that, we're malfunctioning, and there's no way to be happy. It's real simple. This is not complicated stuff. We try to make it complicated. It's actually very simple. It has to be simple for me to understand it, because I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And even I can understand it. And then Krishna promises, like in that first verse of the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you just practice yoga in full consciousness of me. You'll get to know me in full. Is that a good answer? Yes.
You told that Krishna is reciprocating when we are crying out, yeah, Krishna, please. Even materialist is telling, oh Krishna, please help me. So I met one boy, and her sister was suffering from cancer. So she almost told his parents also that to chant Hare Krishna, and he was also chanting. but I don't know, it was third stage or something like that. So her sister passed away. Now he is not believing that there is God. So how we can understand? Yeah, Krishna helped her. He was desperately crying, chanting. But how we can see? Yeah, Krishna reciprocate.
So if there is a God, is this what we're saying? If there is a God, then this God should be engaged in my loving devotional service. So God, I want you to stop the death. My sister is dying. I want you to stop that. I want you to pay off the national debt. I want you to end hunger. In other words, I want you to let everybody's karma go. What about karma? Didn't this girl have karma? Her karma was to leave at this point. Mercy of God is that her brother, it was her brother, right? Her brother is becoming a devotee of Krishna. Maybe he told her about Krishna. Maybe she said Krishna. Maybe he gave her some prasadam, you see. So maybe she got a whole different future destiny. Maybe she took birth as a devotee, you see, in the family of devotees because of that brother. So now the brother is saying, okay, you didn't do what I want, so now I don't even believe in you, God. Basically, what he's probably saying is, I'm not seeing reciprocation, and I'm looking for something else from you. So I'm interested, but I'd like you to do something, God. So turn that around. Why don't you do something for God? God is not the servant. He is, because he serves you. He gives so many nice things. But we should want to do the serving. My dear Lord, I want what you want. I mean, if I saw this boy, I would say, I'm sorry that you lost your sister. But perhaps by your association, she got out of this decaying, rotting body and went on to something better. She could be a wonderful devotee right now. You see, she could be living her last life in this material world right now because of you. So that's very common. Sometimes I have a friend that I know in Texas, in Dallas, and he was a Christian. He's been a Christian all of his life, and he's like 70 years old. And his father died when he was like 16 years old. And he told me, he says, I was angry at God for 25 years. I was angry. But I still went to church. I still read the Bible. But I was angry at God. It took me 25 years to get over it. And I said, how did you get over it? He said, I continued going to church. I continued doing my service at the church. I continued reading the Bible. I continued with some faith. And ultimately I overcame it. But he was very upset. He didn't want his father to leave when he was 15 years old. His father never got to see his marriage, never got to see his grandchildren. He never got to see so much. He never got to see him graduate from college. He never got to see a whole life. He wanted to share with his father. He was upset with God. And he came to the realization that I don't control God. nor do I want to try. I don't want to. I don't control, nor do I want to. What if God were to say, all right, you can tell this to your friend. All right, so what if I back time up and your sister is again alive? And she's alive, but she still has cancer. Did he ask God to keep her alive? What did he ask for? Keep her alive? Take away the cancer? Make her young again? What are we asking? You know, God, I don't want you to have your plan. I want you to adhere to my plan. So Krishna says, okay, what is your plan? What would you do? You see, that's a big responsibility. Would you want that responsibility? To make the plan for someone in your family, everything about them? It's a big responsibility. Best we get them hooked up with Krishna. You see, I'm not a good planner. You see, I'm just a soldier. I'm Krishna's soldier. I take orders. I don't give orders. I take orders. You see, I don't write the story of other people's lives. I wrote my story. I desired what I want, but I didn't do a very good job of it because Krishna has given me such a much better story than I would have written for myself. He's given me what I wanted, but he threw in a whole lot of things that I didn't know to ask for. So what if Krishna was going to say, I'll do what you ask for? You don't know what's the best thing for your sister. You don't know. Best let her get united with the Supreme, with God. And then get out of the way. Let her unite with Krishna. But if you're angry at God, that's okay. Stay angry at him for a while. Still try to take some prasadam, chant Hare Krishna. Come and associate with us here. You can stay mad for a while. Let's see how long that works. At some point, you're going to realize how silly it is. It's just kind of, don't tell him he's silly because he may get upset, but it is. It's silly. God didn't do what I wanted. Come on. Because it's not all about what you want. It's all about what he wants. That's bhakti yoga. Does that make any sense? But it's very common. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. This is very, very common. Yes, brother.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Stereo.
Hare Ram, Ram. We don't give orders, we take orders. So we as Bhakti passes by, as you said, that we even given an opportunity to write our own book, we may not write it as good as Krishna can write. But other person who is right now new in Krishna consciousness, sometimes we may feel little difficult because sometimes, like we say, Arjun was also a little bit disturbed when his own son Abhimanyu died, because it was at a small age. There is some natural thing and there is something unnatural. Like one who dies at the age of 70, 80, it's like, okay, we understand. But somebody dies at the age of 16, then looks really. So shall we think it as Krishna's plan and think that whatever they're doing is okay, or is it okay if devotee feels little uneasiness or like what to do? Because really, if suppose something like that happens, we can say it's karma. Like one boy was saying that one of his brother, just maybe just young, 7 or 10 years old, he got some disease and terminal stage. So how should we counsel that person? Like to that person, and we can explain one thing is that karma is there, but still that pain is there, and we can inspire him to take to Krishna. Like one devotee is there, some young boy went to terminal. That devotee was feeling discouraged. So we are also feeling pain for him, but we have to encourage him in Krishna consciousness also. Then how to do that?
Yeah, we shouldn't. I think it's very poor taste and not very effective to just tell someone, "Well, it was his karma." It's a fact, but there's much more to the story. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it's kind of impersonal to just say, "Oh, it was just his karma." So I'm supposed to forget that. Why not talk about for the soul, there's never birth nor death. Wow. Now that's a big statement. Krishna says that. There's never birth nor death for the soul. So let's back up and look at this soul's bigger picture. This lifetime was a small chapter in this big story. There never was birth for the soul. There never was death for the soul. This personality that you miss has just gone on to another part of the adventure of traveling through this material world. It was time to move on to the next chapter. That may not have anything to do with us, but this person, through their relationship with God, we don't know what that relationship is. How do we? We're trying to find out our own relationship with God. How do I know what somebody else's is? You see? But whatever it is, that soul has moved on. And there's never death. I've actually counseled people like this that have lost people close to them. There's never death. Death applies to this body, you know. So this person left this body at a young age. We don't know that that's necessarily bad. How do we know what kind of body and what kind of circumstances they have right now? We know that they still exist. Having once existed, they never cease to be. You know, this is a good opportunity to get someone, it's a good opportunity to sell a book. You know, to get somebody to take Bhagavad Gita and just tell them, here, take this book. Read the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's going to explain the whole story. This is golden knowledge. Once you understand Bhagavad Gita, you can counsel anybody about anything. You see? So you read this. Read second chapter. Krishna's going to explain the whole situation. For the soul, there's never birth nor death. For the body, there's always birth and death, disease and old age. Birth, death, disease, and old age do not apply to the soul. We are immune to that. But as long as I am this body in my mind, as long as I believe that, then I have to worry about old age and death. I'm in old age. I'm not concerned about it. Death isn't that far away. What is your age? How old are you? 25. So death is way over the hill, right? Death is so far away, isn't it? 25? What are the chances that death is coming up the stairs right now, looking for you? Huh? What are the chances? Could happen, but it's not likely. Right? When you get to be 50 years from now, when you get to be 75, death isn't that far away. I mean, death could be coming up the steps right now. Has anybody seen Jivananda? I'm looking for Jivananda. And this could be happening any minute, you see. Deal with it. You just have to deal with it. It's easier when you get older, if you're a devotee. If you're not a devotee and you are this body, then that's going to be hard to deal with. If you are this body, you're in a world of trouble. If you're not this body, none of this matters. If you're not this body and your loved one that left their body early, none of this matters. If we know, if we have real chit, if we have real knowledge, if we have the real knowledge, this doesn't matter. I'm not concerned. You remain dhira. You know that word, dhira? Undisturbed. Undisturbed. There's nothing for the devotee to be disturbed about. Now, we can get disturbed if one of our close friends leaves and they don't want to associate with the devotees anymore. That's hurting. That's disturbing. You know? Oh, because we feel I'm going to miss them, and I feel bad for their future now. You see? So for someone else's misfortune, we can feel some disturbance in the heart. That's natural. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta talks about that. Softness, sweetness of the heart for the Vaishnava. You see, that's natural for you. You're practicing this Krishna consciousness. You'll experience this soft sweetness in your heart. A feeling of compassion, concern for all other living entities. And notice that amongst all that, you're not worrying so much about yourself. Lord Nrsingadev has my back. He'll take care of me. I don't have anything to worry about. Krishna will always watch after you. You have to develop that faith. You'll come to know it. You will come to know it. You just have to stay the course. Continue doing it. How many people are studying to be computer scientist? Anybody? Engineer? IT? So you're studying how many years? And how many to go? Okay, if you stop now, will you become an engineer? So, with your development in spiritual life, if you stop now, what is your future? So you keep it going. You continue. You go on until you graduate. With Krishna consciousness, we want to go until we graduate. And then we want more. I had some godbrothers a few years ago that were taking Bhakti Vaibhav, study of Srimad Bhagavatam in Mayapur. And they took module 1 and they took module 2. Halfway through 2, they decided, we're going to quit. And I said, why? And they said, because very soon it's going to come to an end. And we can't bear that. So we're going to quit now and come back next year. So we'll have all of next year too. We're going to take it over next year because we're so attracted to hearing this wonderful knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. We can't bear not taking Bhakti Vaibhav. So we're going to quit now, come back next year, take the whole year over. And maybe they'll do it again. I'm thinking maybe this fall, I have some disciples that are coming, and they're going to take, one is going to take Bhakti Shastri, one will take Bhakti Vaibhav. And so I'm thinking maybe I'll do it. We want to take all this again. Is Bhakti Shastri something you just take once? You can, you don't have to, but it's so attractive. You want to do it again. You know? I see how ecstatic they are from taking Bhakti Shastri. And I'm thinking, I might want to take it again. I said to Padmanabhan Prabhu, maybe I should take it again. He said, yeah, that's good. You can come. You can take one day and teach the next. You know. So you stay the course. Keep on doing this bhakti yoga. Keep it on. Keep doing it. Anything else? You guys ask really good questions. These are just Prabhupada's answers. They're in Prabhupada's books.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. You can wait. Let's go with him.
Prabhuji, as you are telling that we should be satisfied what we have and should not hanker for what we don't have. But how to apply it in practical life? Because we always have hankering for some things, some material things. Then how to stop those hankering?
You have to be grateful for what you have. I'm hankering for something else because what I have hasn't fully satisfied me. You see, I need to become satisfied. That's the biggest austerity, to be satisfied. So I need to be happy, peaceful, satisfied with what I have. Grateful. Because it's the nature of the mind to want more material. That will never end. How many people do you know or have heard of that got out of college, worked a successful business, got very wealthy, and just stopped and enjoyed life? Do you know of anybody? Does anybody here ever heard of such a person? No, they want more. Bill Gates, he wants more. What are these other guys, these rich guys? What's the guy that owns Amazon? Bezos, yeah. Yeah. Richest guy in the world, right? He also had the most expensive divorce in the history of this planet. Well, it cost him like $65 billion to get rid of his wife so he could have another one? Well, this sounds pretty happy, doesn't it? even with what he has left, he's probably has 100 billion now, right? Isn't that enough? You could just stop. I'm not going to work tomorrow. I'm selling my stock in Amazon. I'm quitting. I'm going to take my $100 billion. I'm going to buy a nice island. And I'm going to live there and just enjoy. Who has done that? They keep doing more. All of these big names with the big money, they're not satisfied. Material wealth does not satisfy. You get more entrapped. So much more that I have, now I have so much more to protect. So I have to defend. I mean, the world is like that. If you had $100 billion, don't you think there would be a few, maybe a lot of people that would want to get some of that somehow? You've heard of hackers, people that hack into accounts and steal money. Don't you think that they would want to go for those big guys too? Bodyguards you have to have. Someone wants to capture your loved one, capture your mother and threaten to kill them if you don't give them $1 billion. So it doesn't really get any prettier as you get wealthier, right? Why, if you bought your island and you're living down there, you'd have to have an army to protect you. Somebody's going to think, let's go get it. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The more facility you have for eating, sleeping, and mating, the more defense you're going to need. That's not a pretty sight of life. You can't walk out the door. What if you want to walk across the street and have some pani puri? Puppy chut. You just want some puppy chut. But you've got to have like an army around you to protect you. Yeah. Boy, that sounds real happy, doesn't it? So, but I won't get that rich. I'll stop before it gets to be that big of a problem. No, you won't. Nobody does. Nobody does.
Police earning money through getting a lot of money. But then when he had a lot of money, people knew that he has a lot of money. So many of relatives will torture him. If he gives to one, otherwise says, tell me or give me also. If he doesn't give, then others become enemies. So he said, why I had money? I was better not with money.
Yeah, you give to one, and that one is going to say, they're not going to keep it quiet. They're going to say, I went to my brother. He gave me $1 million. Oh, really? Well, you should give me $1 million. You know? If I had it, I would give it to you. You know, then all these people, you get a phone call. Hey, remember me? I was in your college class. Remember? My name is... No, I don't remember. Yes, you do. We were friends. You should give me money. It doesn't sound very happy, does it? But yet people think, but if I was in that situation, I wouldn't be troubled by my wealth. I don't know. If you know of anyone that breaks this rule, anyone that's wealthy and happy, let me know. I know of one person that's wealthy and happy. I know a billionaire that's wealthy and happy. His name is Ambarish Prabhu. And he's giving millions to the TOVP. He's given millions to ISKCON for 50 years. And he's very happy. He is really happy. He even said, look, if you give a donation to the TOVP, I'll match it 3 times. You give 1 lakh rupees, I'll give 3. That sounds like a pretty happy guy. He can do that. Right? So, if you utilize it for Krishna consciousness, if you utilize it for Krishna, to make Krishna happy, you'll be very happy. But that's difficult to do. We're going to probably try to do it for ourselves. Best thing is live your life to be a devotee of Krishna. Does anyone here, have you heard of karma? Okay. Of those of you that, and almost everyone said they did, that you've heard of karma, how many of you believe in karma? All right, so then your karma is there, right? Isn't it? It's there. It's going to come. When you take this body, when you take this birth, you have a certain number of breaths to take. It's already said. How much wealth is in that karma? If I go to college and get PhD, does that make my karma, my money karma increase? Best focus on ending this cycle of birth, death, disease, and old age. Get off this material merry-go-round. Stop the nonsense. Go back home. Go back to Godhead. You can do it. And you should do it. If money is coming, and for somebody in this room, I'll bet somebody, or maybe several of you, maybe even all of you, money is coming. Big money might be coming. If it's coming, can you stop it? Huh? If it's not coming, can you make it? Can you make it come? You don't have to worry so much about it. Worry about taking another birth. That is the big worry. Because if you take another birth, there's some guarantees that come with that. Guaranteed death. Guaranteed disease. Guaranteed old age. If you live, if you die young, then you don't have to worry about old age. That doesn't sound like a good deal. This is crazy. Oh, I don't have to worry about old age. I'm going to die young. Well, nobody wants to die young. You can't win with the material energy. You can't win. You have to get out of here. Become pure devotee. If you become a devotee of Krishna, none of this matters. No worries. None of this matters. Not important. Devotee of Krishna. Future is secure. If you're not a devotee of Krishna, then at the time of death, as Srila Prabhupada says, destination unknown. If you're not a devotee of Krishna and you're on your deathbed and you say, "Doctor, where am I going after this?" He says, "I don't know. Destination unknown. You're somewhere out there. Will I be a human being? Will I be a doggy? I always like dogs. We don't know. Unknown. But what if I'm a devotee? Destination known. Known. Yes, Prabhu, did you have a question? You fixed it. You fixed it. In previous lives. It's cause and effect. As you sow, in the Bible it says, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. As you do, you will receive. As you're receiving, you have done. If you've done pious activities, then piety is coming. If you've been impious, then changes everything. You meet the devotee of Krishna, now everything is pious. You might have had no piety coming. But since you met the devotee of Krishna, now everything is pious. That's the mercy of Krishna. That's the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You've got no pious activities. You've got nothing that you've earned. But yet, let me give you everything. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let me give you everything. I'll give you more than you ever could imagine. I'll give you things you didn't even know to ask for. Because you're showing me some love. Say again.
Immediately. You can go.
Immediately. Immediately. When you start to chant Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada said, you know how when you can read the palm, and the palm says the story of your life? Srila Prabhupada said when you start, the first time you clap your hands in the arti, all those lines change. You just rewrote the story. You chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. You changed your whole destiny. Not only that, you've changed the destiny of, 100 generations behind you and 100 generations in front of you. You go back to Godhead, 100 generations behind you and 100 generations up in front of you. They all go back to Godhead too. They may not go right away. They take a birth in a devotee family and they go back. They'll live a wonderful devotee life and go back. So you've changed your story and you've changed thousands of people's stories just in your own family. I'm not talking about how many people how many lives will you touch by being a devotee of Krishna. You've rewritten your story and the story of thousands of people because you took to this devotional service. You've changed a big part of the world, not just yourself. It's a big thing. This is something to meditate on. What is it? What does it mean for me to become a devotee of Krishna? What does it mean for me to become an effective devotee of Krishna? Not just what does it mean to me, but what does it mean to the world? By everything that you touch is becoming purified. Just because you took to this chanting of Hare Krishna, you took up this devotional service, when you just go on the street wearing Vaishnava tilak. Even if it's light, so no one can see it. Sometimes, maybe you want to put it on real light. But even everyone who sees Vaishnava wearing Vaishnava tilak, they make great advancement just by seeing you. So the devotee touches so many lives. You distribute so many books. You distribute so much prasadam. You invite people to come to the programs. You're changing the world around you. When you change your world, you start to change a big part of the world that you're walking in. Or you can say, I think not. I'm just going to be concerned about me. I don't care about 100 generations behind, 100 generations ahead. Let them worry about themselves. There's no intelligence to that, is there? This Krishna consciousness is unrejectable. You can't reject it. When you do the math, when you work the numbers, when you apply logic, you say, wait, there's no way that I can reject this. There's no intelligence to that whatsoever. How do you make yourself stupid? Do you think you could make yourself stupid? I don't think so. Now that you've heard this is the curse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now you've heard this. Now you have this knowledge in your brain. Now you know. You see? You just act on the knowledge. There's no way to reject it. Some people do, but then they suffer. They have terrible lives, and then they come back. Because it's like Srila Prabhupada said, when one boy was leaving, Srila Prabhupada said, what will you do for bliss? You're going to go out in the world, get a job. You're going to leave the association of the devotees. What will you do for bliss? Oh, didn't think of that. Intoxication, maybe. Sex life. You're going to have bliss, right? You're addicted to it already. From chanting and associating with sweet people, sweet devotees. So if you left this association, how would you replace it? Even if you had billions of dollars. I mean, this is just common sense. All right, I think you had a question, Prabhu.
Why we are not do that for Krishna? Why don't feel direct message?
It's because we get to the point where we can accept that Krishna is God. But we didn't go beyond that. Mother Yashoda was worried that Krishna, she would pray to Lord Nrsingadev to protect Krishna when he took the cows out. She was concerned and worried that Krishna, he's going barefoot. What if he stepped on something and it hurt his foot? She didn't think, well, he's God. He can take care of himself. No, she was worried that meditation, Krishna's not there, but she's thinking of him constantly. What if he hurt his feet? Oh, Lord Nrsingadev, please protect my Krishna. You see? So, as we practice this bhakti yoga, we stop thinking of God, Krishna as God. We start to think of him as just wonderful Krishna. He's my Krishna, my dearmost friend. You see? If you want God, then you can go to Vaikuntha. If you want Krishna, then you go to Goloka Vrindavan. You see? We're concerned about Krishna. Krishna's just my dearmost friend. We're concerned about his feelings. But we're concerned about him eating properly. We cook nice things for him. You see? So Krishna consciousness is beyond spiritualism. It's beyond belief in God. Did Mother Yashoda think of Krishna as God? When you're associating with Krishna, there's no need for God. Krishna satisfies everything. What a very personal, loving relationship. What is the need for God? Mother Yashoda prayed to God to protect Krishna. Krishna is the source of Lord Nrsingadev. She doesn't see him as God. He's just her Krishna. Does that make sense?
And so you also talk about like three things. Simplicity, and third is gravity of.
Right.
So this is you told like how we can purify our mind. Because of mind only we are identifying ourselves by.
What's that?
Because of mind only we are identifying them.
Right. I'm believing the mind is me.
So regarding that, can you how we can purify ourselves? Can we become really satisfied in serving Krishna life? We have heard like this money and etc. will not be helpful if it will not satisfy, and if it's Krishna then we will satisfy. But somehow or other we are not able to purify our mind completely. So we are not fully giving in service. So that's why.
Well, we have to train the mind. The mind doesn't have a mind of its own. It's your mind. You see, it's not a separate entity. This is your mind. It's like your hand. It doesn't have a separate thing of its own. Like when you want to eat, you want to take prasadam, the hand doesn't say, well, I think I'm going to put it in the ear. No, you're telling the hand, pick it up, put it right there. The mind is like that too. but you need a lot of help. It's easier to control the wind than to control the mind, unless you engage it in devotional service. You see, that starts with chanting Hare Krishna. Because devotional service isn't a cheap thing. You've got to make your request. Krishna, I'm hearing and I'm associating with so many nice people, nice devotees of yours. I like the sound of this idea, the concept of being your servant. I want to perform loving devotional service. So, there's a prayer, a special prayer that says that. What is that prayer? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare. That's the prayer. Oh Radha, oh energy of Krishna, oh Krishna, please engage me in your loving devotional service. So, you pray to Radha. Radha is saying, oh Krishna, he seems like such a nice boy. He wants to serve you. I recommend that you accept him as your devotee. Radha makes the recommendation. Krishna is going to say, oh yes. So let me give you some seva. I'll give you something that you can do for me. Now, along with that, Krishna has to give you the empowerment to do it. Right? Because what power do you have other than just desiring? You're not, what are you the source of? Only your desires. You see? So Krishna empowers you to fulfill your desire to serve him. So it starts with the chanting. And then Krishna answers the prayer by giving you seva. And from that taste, if you do it with love, the taste of that seva causes you to want to serve nicer, more. You see, you get a taste. You experience a change of heart. You know, you're not looking to serve yourself anymore. You have to serve yourself some, but you're looking to serve Guru and Krishna and the devotees. You develop a mission, personal mission to serve Krishna. Personal mission on how you're going to live your life. And then you start to write that movie of your life, and you write in that happy ending. How do you want it to end? I want to end by being the best devotee I can be. It's your story. Write it. You could say, well, I think I'm going to end the movie of my life by being extremely wealthy, famous. Everyone will know me. I'll be very distinguished, and everyone will adore me. So if that's what you want, you can go for that. That's not going to be a happy ending, though. Best is write it to where you become Krishna's pure devotee. And you're doing pure devotional service. So, it starts by your desire. First you desire, then you pray. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Then you pray some more. And then you pray some more. And then you discuss it with Krishna. Krishna, please give me seva. Empower me to do the seva. I just want to be your humble servant. But I need you to empower me with all the resources that I need to serve you on the level that you want me to serve. That's an honest request, isn't it? Why would Krishna say no? It's a good deal for you. It's a good deal for him. You get what you want. He gets what he wants. You want to go back home, back to Godhead? He wants you to come home, back to Godhead. Everybody wins. If you just leave it self-centered, your desires self-centered, nobody wins, not even you. It's just common sense. It's just clear logic. It's hard not to believe logic. You know? Does that answer your question? Good questions. These guys have great questions.
Just wanted to confirm. You told like we have to train our mind. We have to chant Hare Krishna. We have to tell Krishna like I do some seva, so that please give me some seva and please all these things.
And once in a while, as often as possible, say, thank you, Krishna. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, Krishna. I am grateful. I am grateful. I'm thankful. You've won my heart. Krishna will give you my experience and what in my own personal life and from what I've seen in others for 50 years is that Krishna will always give you more than you pray for. That's just his style. It's not like if you pray for 100 rupees and he's only going to give you 95. No, that's not his style. When you put loving devotional service into it, he's going to give you a lot more than you ask for. That is his style. You know the story of Sudama? What did he ask for? Nothing, right? He just wanted to be with Krishna. He just wanted the delight of being with him. His wife said, go ask Krishna for money. He'll give you money. He's your friend. He's got money. Sudama just wanted to go be with his friend. That's all. He didn't even ask. So Krishna answered the wife's prayer. This wasn't Sudama's prayer. He didn't have this desire. But when he got home, the house was a palace. It was wealth, servants. His life had changed. So Krishna will give you not only what you want, but what he wants you to have. And that's pretty glorious. To get what Krishna wants you to have is pretty wonderful. But to get what Krishna wants you to have, what do you have to do? What's the most common thing that Krishna asks you to do throughout the Bhagavad Gita? Surrender. Krishna's like, I have something that I want to give you. Well, I don't surrender. But I want to give it to you. Well, I'm not going to surrender. If you say, my dear Lord Krishna, I surrender to your lotus feet. Please engage me in your loving devotional service. Now, Krishna, you're surrendered. Krishna can give you what he wants you to have. You see. And that's glorious. It's always glorious to get what Krishna wants. Because he's got a lot bigger imagination than we do. He has much better taste. Much more loving. Yeah, so we want for us what Krishna wants for us. So we've got to get over this thinking, well, what if Krishna won't give me everything that I want? Well, then you haven't surrendered, so you're not going to get everything that he wants you to have. Your faith isn't mature yet. When your faith gets mature and you fully surrendered, then he gives far more than you ever dreamed. Far more. And it keeps on coming. It's not like it's just like one thing, bus, finished. No. More. The more you surrender, the more the direction of your life will change. And it'll become more and more wonderful, more and more glorious. Only because you're letting him take charge of your life. That's what surrender is. You take charge of my life. And when we do that, everything is wonderful. And this wonderful keeps growing, getting better and better and better. So it's the only smart thing to do. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Why we should pray for anything? Better to pray for nothing.
Pray for what?
Pray for nothing.
Yeah.
Pray for anything.
Let's just pray for devotional service.
Now, whatever desire, definitely gives. We have to
As devotional service, he definitely gives. But why we should pray for?
Tell him. Open up dialogue with him. Refresh the lost relationship with him. Krishna, I want to serve you.
I just serve. I'm serving, but I don't desire to please engage me and just give me that faith. I can serve in better way.
Pray anyway. Let's get closer to Krishna. That's a little impersonal. Well, Krishna, you know what's good for me. Why don't you just do it? No, get up close and personal with him. Krishna, please give me devotional service. Empower me to serve you. I can't do it on my own. I need your empowerment. You see? Now, we could just wait and see what he does, what he gives. But it's very nice. He likes it. You're his beloved when you approach him. My dear Krishna, I don't know if I love you yet. I'm not at the stage of Krishna Prem, but I really like you. I really like you a lot. And I'm feeling attracted. And I want to do some service because I'm just feeling very attracted to you. And I want to get to know you better. And through this devotional service, I'll get to know you better. Our relationship will grow. I'll get my old relationship with you back. If you'll just give me this loving devotional service. You see? Please give me more. Give me more. Start to pursue him. He's flattered when you do that. Pursue him. I want you, Krishna. I want you. Why would he say no? There's no reason. It would be completely out of character for him to say no. That's his relationship between you, his eternal. You're his eternal servant. That's your relationship. Why, he wants that back. There is a relationship that you have with Krishna. There's a personality that you have that Krishna knows, and you don't know it. There's a you that you don't know, but Krishna does. And he would like to have that. He would like for you to know what it is he knows about you. That's really going to shock you. What do you think? Do you believe that the soul, you, do you believe you have an eternal form? What does it look like? Krishna has seen you for eternity. What does he see when he looks at you? Now, we should ponder that. We want to know, what is it that you find so attractive about me, Krishna? Why? I tried to come to this material world to get away from you. Why did you follow me here? Why have you sent your loving devotees to get me? What is it about me that you find so attractive? When Krishna looks at you, what does he see? What does this face look like? What kind of smile do you have that just charms him? You see, he wants you to know that. He wants you to wake up and come back. He wants that personality back, his friend. He wants it back. And he's not going to force you. It's your free will. But he's eager to have his beautiful friend back. And all those memories of an eternity of associating with him, he wants you to remember. Why? That's going to be a shock just to process all of that. An eternity of memories, an eternity of conversation with Krishna. When you get that back, whoa, this is going to be a really exciting thing. This going back to Godhead, becoming a pure devotee, this is going to be pretty exciting. Wow. Krishna says, remember how we used to do this? And you'll say, yes, I do. I remember. And remember, Krishna, when we used to do this with the cows? Yes, I remember all that. So, how much memory of this material world are you going to cling to when you get that reality back? Someone will say, hey, how was your trip through the material world? And you'll say, huh? What? Krishna, we were talking about what we used to, what is this material world thing, You see? Therefore, Krishna says, once you come home, you'll never come back here. Now, you could. You're not going to become a prisoner. But once you get it back, are you going to want to leave it after all this struggle to get it back? Living in doubt? Struggling with material bodies and material relationships, and then you get the real thing back? You're not going to want it. The only thing that would make you want to come back is if Krishna asked you, hey, my beloved friend, would you do me a favor? If somebody in the material world asks you, would you do me a favor? You may say, well, no, that depends on what it is. I'm thinking maybe, yeah, but I don't know. What is it that you want? But if Krishna says to you, my beloved one, would you do me a favor? You say, anything, Krishna. Anything. Why, I've thought and thought and thought, what can I do to please you? And now you're going to tell me something I can do to please you? What is it? What can I do for you, Krishna? Krishna says, I'd like you to go back to the material world, take your birth there, and preach, and bring thousands, maybe millions out with you. You don't have to do this, but would you do that for me? I promise you'll never forget me. You'll see me everywhere. What would you say? Sure, yeah. Srila Prabhupada came here to save the world. He never forgot Krishna, and he saw Krishna constantly. You see? It wasn't an ordinary life. He didn't accidentally find himself here. And he wasn't trying to get away from Krishna. So that's the only reason you would come back. Krishna said, would you? Would you do it for me? Yes. If it'll make you happy, yes. Immediately. Done deal. Is that good?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Earlier you told that we are sprout, and anyone press it with a finger, it may get damage. So as we are practicing devotional services, and my college is about to end, and we have lots of educational curricular pressure. So sometimes it is frustrating to balance both the thing together. And after couple of months, my professional life is about to start, and I know there may be some time where I have lots of work pressure, and that time I may be stuck in between work pressure and devotional services. So that time, how can I balance and take both the thing together, office work and this devotional service?
It's a good question. You have to make your office work, your career, you have to make that devotional service too. That's your offering to Guru and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was a businessman. He did everything as an offering to Guru and Krishna. That's what a devotee does. So, you may be an engineer, but you say to Krishna, I'm your engineer. You see? So you become the best engineer that you can be. You have to become the best because that's your offering to Guru and Krishna. You see? It's all right. There's going to be office pressures. That's okay. You'll be empowered to do whatever it is that you need to do. Just don't forget Krishna. Have a Krishna family life. Are you married? Huh? No? Will you get married? Will you have children? Do you want your children to be devotees? Kind of devotees or good devotees? Then you have to be a good devotee. Haribo! So does your wife. So, you see, you take the pen and start writing this story of yours. How do you want this life to be? I want good devotee, the best devotee children. You want them to become pure devotees. So therefore, I must start out with a devotee wife. My wife has to be a very good devotee. Better devotee than you. Because then you will respect, admire. You will admire her. She's such a nice devotee. She'll own your heart because she is the best devotee. And you'll have to become a better and better devotee just to keep up with her and to teach the children. You see? So this sounds like you're heading towards a happy ending, doesn't it? This sounds like a good story. Haribo! Was that you? He's thinking, hand me the pen. I want to write my story too. I want a good story too. How come he gets a good story and I don't get a good story? No, this is just use of intelligence. So this is how you do it. And people will know your family. They'll know you having a good devotional life, good devotee family. People will respect you. They will admire you. You will have integrity. You'll be happy. You'll be satisfied. You'll be professional. You'll be the best. People will want to emulate you. They'll want to be like you. People will ask you, what is your philosophy? I heard that you're this Hare Krishna. What is your philosophy? So just think, you don't have to go out looking for people to preach to. People will ask you. Well, I see these beautiful children and nice wife. What is this Krishna conscious philosophy? This is a good story. This isn't fiction. This is reality. So do it like that. Write it like that. So first thing is, get yourself situated. Find the perfect devotee wife. If she's... There is no perfect devotee wife. If she's a good devotee, she'll be chaste. If she's not chaste, your life will be hell. It will be hell. Your responsibilities are growing. I think you're... I think your job description has just changed a little bit. Now you're a marriage counselor. Why so many are going to come to you and say, where can I get one of these nice wives?
What it does, like,
My godbrother Vasugos, he publishes a matrimonial newsletter. You know, you've seen it. Yeah, he has, if you're looking for a devotee wife, then he puts it out. It's a newsletter, a list of devotees that are good devotee. You know, you can check that out. I heard one person say that if your wife is not chaste, then she will be chaste by every man in town. This is very important. If she's a good devotee, then she will be loyal. And you're a good devotee, you'll be loyal. The children will see this loyalty between mother and father. Their character will be shaped very nicely. You see? If you do it right, then all the lives that you touch will be improved because you're living a good life. That's the price. You have to live a good life. If you want some nonsense in your life, nonsense wife, nonsense children, then you're just suffering like everyone else. You don't have to do that. Write the story with a happy ending. Write a happy story. Is that a good idea? So do it. You can do it, can't you? Yeah, you know you can. Yeah. Why would Krishna prevent that? You're going to go out and have a good devotee family? No, Krishna wants that. That would be nice. If you can, if it's possible, avoid family life. But if you can't, then do it the other way. Have a wonderful, devotional family life. You'll have to work at it. You'll have to be dedicated. But it's worth it. And if you don't work at it, and if you're not dedicated, then your life will be just pure hell. It won't be good. But it can be good. It can be happy. Now that's a fact. So don't be discouraged. You can do that. Krishna will help you. Tell him, this is what I want, Krishna. I want a whole family to be serving as your pure devotees. You could start a whole dynasty of pure devotees. This is possible. It's likely if you do it properly. Is that a good answer? Just remember, when you're writing your story, try to be specific. Specific. Write in all the details. Think about it. Meditate. It's like if an author is writing a book. It's very specific on the story. You know? It's not like a man met a woman, they got married and had kids. That's not a good book. Put some specific details in it. It's worth it. This is your life. Meditate on it. But you know what you want. You know you want Krishna in your life. That means if you're going to be married, Krishna has to be in your wife's life. Otherwise, Krishna will not be in your children's life. That would be hell. There's enough hell. We're trying to get out of hell. So do it the right way. Yes, Prabhu.
Make a move your face and then steadily go on chanting down so that very peaceful. Because they are young, just most of them are 20, 25. They have not seen the world. Getting between it. Similarly, what I advise for these boys, out seeing the world around. Many things they may not know, so you can share. Take that out, then so that steadily go on after we back.
Now, this is an important concern because this is something we should be concerned about.
Because there's danger at every step in this world. I remember Srila Prabhupada suggested that what he did for chanting his rounds is he would chant 4 rounds in the morning before breakfast. Then he would chant 4 rounds before he took lunch. And then 4 rounds before he took supper at night. And then 4 rounds before he took rest. And that way, he got his 16 rounds. Because he was very busy. In Grihastha life, it's often very difficult to find time. You know. So Prabhupada suggested like that. 4 before breakfast, 4 before lunch, 4 before supper, and 4 before bedtime. Can you give me some more? So we have to work like that. And also, you need to read as much as you can. You need to associate with the devotees. You have to have some devotee association. Even if maybe you can only come to a program, 1 program a week. And maybe Harinam, go on Harinam. You see? Thank you. If you make that a priority, and then ask Krishna, please help me. Please help me, Krishna. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. But be concerned about it. Don't just wait and see if it happens. And don't get so excited about passing out of school. And now I get to go have fun. And then after you have your fun, you'll have some hell, some suffering. Life can be full of fun and enjoyment without the material suffering. You don't have to have the material suffering to enjoy. The devotees enjoy. Why, you're Sat Chit Ananda. You're entitled to Ananda, bliss. Isn't bliss enjoyment? I don't think there's any more enjoyment than bliss. Bliss is the top enjoyment. So, yeah, ask Krishna's help. Please help me, Krishna. Krishna wants you to win. He is your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. Shurinam Sarva Bhutanam. We have to know, again I say, we have to know this Bhagavad Gita. We have to know it. You see, so all the answers, all the help is in there. Krishna says, Shuridam Sarvabhutanam, I am your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. All living entities. So, tell him, Krishna, you're my dearmost friend. If I can't come to you, I can't depend on anybody. Please help me. If that's your sincere desire, Krishna will help. Why not? Is that a good answer? Turn it on low. Better. What else? Krishna will help you win. Ask. Just ask. It's not a selfish request. Krishna, help me fight off Maya. Help me chant my rounds. Help me with my devotional life. You know, that's not a selfish request. No, you should do like that. Anyone else? Oh, yeah. What time is it? Okay. Yeah, let's have more questions in the evening program. Haribo. Come on, give me a good Haribo. Haribo! Now that's a Haribo. I think Lord Chaitanya went, oh, what? He said to Nityananda, now that's a Haribo. Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Let's go give them our blessings. All right. Thank you all so much. Let's get together at 5:30 and we'll do it again. Bring questions. I'll bring answers. You can bring pizza. No. Maybe funny for you. All right. Thank you all so much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.